Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today let's try something new. I had somebody ask if I'd ever tried a rolled shirt where I rolled it from the top and from the bottom. So that's what we're going to try today. I'm going to start out with the front of the shirt laying flat on the table. So I'm drawing my line on the back. I forget to do this periodically, and so I actually drew a line on the front of the shirt too. Basically what I did is drew a diagonal line from one corner of the bottom of the shirt up to the opposite shoulder of the shirt. I like to draw my line on the back of the shirt so that as I'm rolling the shirt, the front of the shirt is what is on the outside. You can do however you want to though. It's not that big of a difference. I'm starting down at that one corner of the hem of the shirt, and I'm going to begin rolling that line really tightly. And as I'm rolling that line, I'm going to promote the fabric on either side of that line to go ahead and roll as well. Once I roll the bottom part of the shirt, probably about halfway up the shirt, I'm going to use a clothespin to hold that roll in place. Then I'm going to turn the shirt around and I'm going to start rolling from the top of the shirt. Again, I'm going to do the same process, and once I have that part of the shirt rolled, I'm going to take and fold the shirt in half right on that line that I initially drew. To hold my entire rolled shirt together, I'm going to use some kite string to keep the rolls in place. Once I have the shirt tied up, I'm going to go ahead and place it aside for a few days while I'm working on some other projects. By the time I came back to apply the dye to this shirt, it was completely dry. However, you don't need to wait until the shirt is dry. You can go ahead and apply the dye to the damp shirt. For the dye on this shirt, I've been experimenting with Dyespin's new Dark Horse dye called Sugar Plum, so I've built a color palette around that color. I'm also going to incline ice dye this shirt, so I'm going to place the shirt down inside of a piece of vinyl guttering, and I'm going to tie a piece of kite string around the end of the shirt, and then attach the piece of kite string to the other end of the vinyl guttering with a metal clip so that the shirt doesn't slide out of this guttering once it's inclined. I'm also going to lightly spray the top of the shirt with a soda ash solution, which I've placed inside of a squirt bottle. Because the shirt is completely dry, that soda ash solution sprayed on top is going to help the dye stick a little bit better to the fabric. The first color I'm starting with is Sugar Plum from Dyespin, and I'm going to apply that at the very top of the shirt, which is the area that I folded over. I'm going to apply a pretty good quantity of dye to that part of the shirt, and I'm going to really try to put lots of dye on that part where it curves around right at the very top. If you don't, you're going to end up with kind of a lighter or whiter area there. So I try to really pay attention and add plenty of dye at the top. Then I'm going to go down to about halfway down the shirt and apply another layer of the Sugar Plum. Then in the first area between the two lines of Sugar Plum, I'm going to add Olive Drab from Dharma Trading Company, and in the last section I'm going to add Cobalt Blue from Dharma Trading Company. Now I'm going to add an additional sprinkle of dry soda ash over the top of the dye and add on a layer of ice. I think it's easier to add the ice on the shirt when the piece of vinyl guttering is still laying flat on the table. And for this shirt, I'm going to use some bagged ice. I'm going to try to pack as much ice on top of the dye as I can. Once I have the ice on the shirt, I'm going to take a plastic tote, place one end of the vinyl guttering down inside of the tote, and leave the other end hanging over the edge to incline the shirt. Then I'm also going to go ahead and add just a little bit more of the Sugar Plum right at that very top part of the shirt where it curves around. Otherwise, because that area is so thick and because it's at the very top of the incline, that will probably be a little bit lighter, or it can be quite a bit lighter than the rest of the shirt if I don't make sure I get plenty of dye up there. I'm going to add a little bit more ice to that area, and then I'm going to do some touch up on the ice on the rest of the shirt. Make sure I get as much ice on the dye as I can. Then I'm going to place the shirt aside and allow the ice to melt. And after the first layer of ice melted, I came back and checked the shirt, and I had quite a bit of undissolved dye left sitting on top. So I went ahead and added another layer of ice. Because this fold is really thick, you can go ahead and turn the shirt over and add more dye and ice to the back side. Instead, I prefer to go ahead and add plenty of dye to the front side of the shirt and then just continue adding layers of ice until I force the dye through to the back side. I think I added maybe 2 or 3 layers of ice to this one before that happened. Then I went ahead and took the piece of vinyl guttering and placed it flat down inside of a plastic tote that has a metal rack in the bottom. The shirt had already been inclined for probably 36 hours at this point. Then I placed the lid on the plastic tote and I placed it outside in the heat to allow it to process. I allowed this shirt to process probably about 24 to 48 hours after all the layers of ice had melted before I began rinsing it. As you can see, the dye's gone through really well to the back side, and the very top part of the shirt looks to be pretty well saturated as well. I started rinsing the shirt in cold water to rinse out the soda ash and any of the excess dye that had maybe dried on top of the shirt. Sometimes when I add a lot of dye, and even if I add a lot of ice, you'll still have with some colors some undissolved dye left sitting on the shirt. So that initial cold water rinse helps to rinse that excess dye off the top. Then I went ahead and warmed the water up to hot and continued rinsing in hot water to try to rinse out the extra dye that didn't bond with the fabric. I untied the shirt, and then instead of just continuing to rinse for a long time until my water ran clear, I decided to soak the shirt. So to do that, I placed the shirt inside of my sink, ran some really hot water in the sink with a little bit of Blue Dawn dish soap, placed the shirt inside, and allowed it to soak. When the water cooled off, I changed it out, and I continued that soaking process until my water was remaining almost clear. Then I placed the shirt along with some Dharma's Professional Textile Detergent down into my washing machine, and I washed it using a hot water cycle. Okay, so the shirt has been washed and dried, and let's see what this color combination and this technique looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think? So I really like the color combination. I think it looks really pretty. The Sugar Plum is a really cool color. It has lots of varieties and shades in it, and I pulled out my color swatch, which is a little bit dark, but kind of matched some of the green and the blue to my color swatch. And I think those colors flow really well with the Sugar Plum. I like the different depth of color. I mean, as the colors flowed down the fabric, I have really dark areas in there. I have some lighter areas. And that initial line that you see going diagonally across the shirt, I'm really happy with the fact that I got good color saturation there. The color in general is a little bit lighter in that area, but I still have good color saturation there. I don't have big chunks of white left in the shirt. I put the cobalt blue at the very end of my incline, so that is what I don't have as much of showing up. It's on that one sleeve and then just down at the corner of the shirt. But I like that little pop of blue added into the shirt. Like I said earlier too, I really like the way as the dye flowed down the shirt, I have really dark areas in between those diagonal lines that I have in the shirt. It almost looks like I have mountains and valleys. So the tops of the mountains are a little bit lighter, and then in the bottom or in the valley, it's a little bit darker. And I think that looks pretty cool. I like that effect. It also kind of gives the effect of a spine to me too, with the different vertebra. Either that or some kind of a bug. I'm not entirely sure what. I think it looks pretty cool though. I really like the way the shirt in general turned out. The design and just the colors and the flow of the dye and everything. As far as it making a huge difference to start the roll from the bottom and then start it from the top and kind of meet in the middle, I don't know that it made any kind of a difference. I can tell one wider area right about where both of those rolls met. And that's about the only difference that I can see in this shirt. I don't know that it makes a big enough difference to try rolling from the top and the bottom. I think if you just started from the bottom and went to the top, or started from the top and went to the bottom, the shirt would still end up looking really cool. So, like I said, in general, I really like this shirt. Think it turned out looking really cool. Love the dye flow, color splits, colors, design. But what do you guys think? Please drop me some comments down below and let me know. And if you've enjoyed the video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it, and if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.